So this video is all about how to troubleshoot any issues you may have with the Apple Watch Series 4. Let the download begin. So now, one of the issues that you can definitely have with the watch is if the watch is just not connecting to LTE. And this is when you have a LTE variant of the watch itself. If it's just not connecting up, one of the things you can do is check the general software update on the watch to make sure that you are up to date with the software. And that's done through the companion app. So when you log into the app itself, all you're doing is going to general and software update. It's going to spin through, going to check to make sure this has the most updated version of Watch OS on the Apple Watch. I think previously the older Watch OS apps were having some issues with the LTE. Apple's recently done an update so that fix any issues that you may have. So some other possible solutions to this issue is you can try to actually reset up your cellular plan on the Apple Watch app itself, and then you're just going to log into the watch. You're going to go to cellular here. You're going to tap on the icon next to your plan. You're going to add remove plan and then go through the setup process again from start. This is a little bit more advanced, so you may want to get on the phone with your current plan provider. If none of these options work, then your next step would be to go to Apple and take a look at the watch itself. So another issue you may have sometimes, if your watch is either in airplane mode or it's just shut off from the network, when it comes back online, you may get like a little red X here where you see this little green indicator that it's connected to the phone. That's a no phone connection error. So if that no phone connection error comes up, there's a couple of things you can try to get it back on. One of the first things you actually want to check is to make sure that the airplane mode on the watch is not on. If airplane mode is on, it can cause that same disconnection error to happen because it's disconnecting all your connections. Turning that off should get you back online and connected back to your phone. If airplane mode is already off, then your next step would probably be to reset your watch. So one of the ways to do a reset on the watch is you're going to hold the side button down until the power off option comes on, and you're just going to slide that power off option, power off the watch, let it reset, let it boot back up, make sure it's close to your phone, and then see if it connects the way it should. So then if none of that works, your other option would be to reset your iPhone itself. And resetting the new iPhones are fairly simple. You're just going to be pressing the side button and the volume down button, and you hold them down. And then that power off option is going to appear on top. Again, you would slide that power off option, let the phone reset, let the watch, you may want to reset the watch again so both devices are resetting at once. Once they get back online, make sure the airplane mode is off here, make sure airplane mode is not on your phone as well, and then both devices should connect at that point. And going into Action Center is probably one of the easiest ways to check to make sure airplane mode is not enabled on your iPhone. Now, if you're running into issues with Bluetooth, remember you can connect headphones directly to the watch itself via Bluetooth, the same way you would connect your phone. So if you're running into issues with Bluetooth connectivity, a couple of really quick and easy things you can do. Remember, whenever you're dealing with Bluetooth, also proximity matters, so you want to make sure devices are really close together. The other thing you can do is swipe up from your Action Center, go in and turn your airplane mode on, wait about maybe 5 or 6 seconds, then turn it off. What that does is it basically resets all your network connections, it resets all your connections, and then that usually helps with getting your device connected back to whatever Bluetooth device you're trying to connect it to. Worst case scenario, we're going to throw the nuclear bomb on it. We're going to unpair the watch from the phone and then erase all data and repair it as a new watch. Rebooting it creates that new software reboot, creates it as a new watch, and that should fix any issues that you may have. Remember, you always have the nuclear option, but it's such a big thing. You want to try everything before you drop that bomb. Now, what do you do if the crown itself is not working either at all or it's not moving smoothly the way it's supposed to move between the applications? So this crown is really used for navigation purposes. It's also a button press. So if this is not working software wise, like if it's not doing anything at all, so unpairing your Apple Watch from your phone would be one of the fixes you can do with this one. And the next thing you can try is to just reset up the watch as a new watch after it's unpaired. That should really fix any software issues you have with the connection of the crown to your Apple Watch. Now, if the watch itself is not moving smoothly, it's hiccuping, it's not flowing as well as it's supposed to, then you're probably going to need to clean it. And we can actually, or we will make a video on how to get this cleaned through the official document from Apple that they put out on how to clean this. Cleaning it will probably be one of the reasons why it's not moving as smoothly as it can. Some dust and dirt can get in or under this thing. If none of that works, then always your next step is to bring it to Apple. Now, if your watch isn't charging the way it's supposed to, first of all, if it's a brand new watch, make sure you take the plastic off the back. There is going to be a plastic that comes on the back where the charger is, so that can also prevent it from charging up the way it's supposed to. Next thing you can do is check to make sure your charger is connected in properly. Make sure that everything is working with the power outlet that the charger is connected into. And then you can also try resetting your watch by holding down this side button until the power off comes up. Slide the power off, let it go off, then power it back on, connect it to the charger again, and see if that works. And then always remember your last option is that nuclear option of just erasing everything, rebooting your watch, and then trying it from the beginning. Now, if you're experiencing any kind of poor battery life, there's a couple of things you can check to make sure that your watch is getting optimal battery settings. Before you even check that, just remember that you always have the option to put your watch in the power reserve mode, and that power reserve mode just basically gives you a stripped down version of the watch. None of the frills, none of the thrills. It gives you really just the time, but it will get you to your next charge at least. So you can just use it as a watch until you're able to get to the charger, and at that point, charge it back up, and then you're good to go. But in the meantime, one of the things you can do is open your watch app, go to notifications, and you can turn the notifications off. By turning notifications off, it stops those push notifications to go into your watch itself. Those push notifications actually take up battery life because it's able, when the notifications goes through, the watch gets the signal. Not only does it get the signal, but it has to register that data, and then it actually has to do an animation on screen for the notifications to come down. That can affect battery life depending on how many notifications you're getting in. So if you're getting in a ton of notifications, that can help deplete the battery life of your watch. Turning off that notification is definitely one way to help. Now, another thing you can actually do is go into the settings of the watch itself, and then you're going to scroll down until you see brightness and text, and then you can make adjustments here. So again, brightness, anything bright on the screen definitely does affect the way the screen looks. It affects the actual battery life on the watch itself, and also minimizing the text, believe it or not. Less pixels on the screen, that can help, worst case scenario, but just kind of focus on the brightness a little bit, dim it down an acceptable level, and you should be fine. Now, if you go into settings app, you go into general, you go into wake screen. Now, you can toggle these settings off. These settings control the waking of the watch when you raise your wrist, waking of the watch when you press the crown up, launch apps, things of that nature. Anything auto that's in here, you can shut off. That will help conserve some battery life again. Give you enough time to get to a charger in order to properly sort yourself out. Now, if you're still getting inconsistent battery life, again, one of the things you can always check is to make sure your watch OS is updated. You also want to make sure that you are consistently updating not only your watch but your phone to make sure they're both on the latest version of iOS, as some of those fixes can include battery fixes to help extend battery life. You can also just try powering the watch off and powering it on again. There could be some kind of processes running in the background that resetting the watch helps resets and gets you back on track as well. If the watch itself just isn't powering on, remember that if you have it in power reserve mode, picking it up or putting it down, it doesn't respond to the wrist movements as normal, so you'd have to tap this side button in order for anything to display on the watch. If you don't have it in power reserve mode, then you want to hold the crown or side of the watch for about 10 seconds, and that will trigger a force restart on the watch itself. You're going to hold it until the Apple logo appears. Once that appears, the watch itself will restart, and that should get the watch going as normal. All right, guys, so if I didn't cover an issue that you're currently having, share those down below in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to help you with any support issues that you may have with your Apple Watch Series 4. If you enjoyed the video, check out some of the other videos we've done about the Apple Watch on the channel. Make sure to share your thoughts, comments, and questions in the comment section below the video. Thank you so much for checking it out, and until next time, peace.